Welcome back to this chapter 14 tutorial on Microsoft Excel Visual Basic for Application Basic to Advanced video series. In this chapter you will learn how to use the if statements in VBA. I will explain the use of simple if then else, if then else, if else and IIF statement. For this let me go here in the chapter 14 sheet where I have some data. Based on these data I will explain how to use these if statements. Let's click on developer tab, then Visual Basic. Here I have created a module for if statement. First of all, let's write here a sub procedure for simple if statement. So let me write here sub simple underscore if bracket open bracket close. For example, here I have the detail of full mark, pass mark and mark obtained of a student in a subject. In the result cell, I have to calculate the result of the student. In this case, I can use the simple if statement. For this, let's write here if space, then put the condition, that is the mark obtained should be greater than or equal to pass mark for the pass result. So here type range, the mark obtained is on the C2 cell, so put here C2 dot value. Put the greater than equal to symbol together, then put the cell reference for pass mark, that is the B2 cell. So put here range B2 dot value, give a space, then type then. After this then write the result, that is range D2 dot value equals to double quotation pass double quotation. This is a one line if statement. If you run this if statement, then the result will be given here. Let me hit on the run button. Nothing displayed here in the result because in this case this condition is not true. The mark obtained is less than pass mark, that is why no result is given. If I change this to 45, go to VBA, then run the code, then I'll get pass here because in this case this logic is true, that is why the pass is displayed here. So this is the example of one line simple if statement. We can write this simple if statement in another method also. For that let me create here a new sub procedure, sub simple underscore if one bracket open bracket close, press enter. Now here write the if statement, that is if range C2 dot value is greater than equal to range B2 dot value, then after writing this then press enter. Then in the second line write the code to execute, that is range D2 dot value equals to pass. This first line of code will check whether the value in the mark obtained is greater than or equal to pass mark or not. Then if it is true, then it will display the result pass in the D2. After writing the second code, then press enter, then type and if, press enter. So this is another method of writing the simple if statement. Let me delete this result from here. Then run this second sub procedure. Here you see the result is given as pass. So this is another method of writing the simple if statement. Let's look into another type of if statement, that is if then else. Go to this chapter 14 sheet again. Now here let me change this number to 38 and delete this result from here. Go to Visual Basic, then run the code again. In this case no result is given here. So to display here another result if this condition is not true, then we have to use if then else statement. For this let me create here a new sub procedure, sub if underscore then underscore else bracket open bracket close, press enter. Now just copy this code from here, copy and paste. After this second line of code, we have to now insert here else statement, else, then press enter. Now here write the code if this logic is not true. In another word, if the mark obtained is less than pass mark, then we have to display the result of fail here. So after this else statement, write the code that is range d2 dot value is equal to fail. Now if you run this code, either pass or fail will be written here in the result. Let me hit on the run button. This time I got the result of fail here because the mark obtained is less than pass mark. If I make it 55, then again run the code, the result of pass is given here. So the use of if then else statement is to display one value if the condition is true and display another value if the condition is false. Next type of if statement is if then else if else. If then else if else is used when we have more than two conditions. Here in the second example, I have some locations and the transportation cost detail. The requirement here is to find out the cost category based on the condition given here. If the cost of transportation is greater than equal to 4,000, the cost category is high. If the cost is greater than equal to 2,000, the cost category is medium. And if it is less than 2,000, then the cost category is low. So in this case, we have multiple conditions to check. For that, we use this if then else if else statement. Let's go to developer Visual Basic and then create here a new sub procedure. Sub if underscore then underscore else if underscore else bracket open bracket close. Let me decrease the size of this VBA window. Here in this H2 cell, I have to calculate the category of the transportation cost based on these conditions. So here the code will be, start with the if statement. If range G2 dot value. Now check for the first condition, that is value in G2 cell is greater than equal to 4,000. So put here greater than equal to 4,000. Then press enter. Now write the code for result, that is range h2 dot value equal to double quotation high double quotation, then press enter. Now for the another condition, use the else if statement. So here put else if space range G2 dot value. The second condition is greater than equal to 2000. So put here greater than equal to 2000. Then press enter. Now write the code to execute if this logic returns true, that is range h2 dot value equal to medium. Press enter. Now for the last condition, we have to use the else statement here. So put here else, press enter. Then put the code to execute if both of these two conditions fails, that is the cost category will be low. So here put range h2 dot value equals to low. Press enter. Then close the if statement by putting end if. Press enter. Now if you run this code, the cost category will be displayed here in the H2 cell by checking multiple conditions. Let me hit on this run button. Here you see the cost category is given as low because the transportation cost is 787. Let me change this number to 2880. Go to VBA again, then run this code. This time I got the cost category is medium. To display the cost categories for other locations, you can combine either of do while or do until loop here in this sub procedure. If you haven't watched the do while or do until loop, then watch the chapter 12 and chapter 13 video tutorial. Then you will learn combining the do while or do until loop to repeat the code for other locations. The next type of if statement is the IIF statement. This IIF statement is a short version of this if then else statement. For this, let me go to chapter 14 sheet, go to developer, Visual Basic, create a new procedure for IIF statement, SUB IIF underscore statement, bracket open, bracket close, press enter. Let me delete this result in this cell. To calculate the result of either pass or fail here in this cell, we can use the IIF statement. For this, the code will be range d2 dot value is equal to, then put the IIF statement here, that is IIF open bracket. In the expression we have to put the logic, that is the mark obtained should be greater than equal to pass mark. So here put range c2 dot value, this should be greater than equal to range b2 dot value. This is the logical expression. Now put a comma in this true part, or if the result of the logic is true, then we have to display pass. So here put double quotation pass double quotation, put a comma. In the false part, or if the result of this logic is false, then we have to display fail. So here put double quotes fail double quotes, close bracket, then press enter. Now if you run this code, the result will be given here. Let me hit on the run button, and here you see the result is given. Let me change this to 30, then again run the code. This time the result is given as fail. So this is how we use the IIF statement. So this is all about using different kind of if statements in VBA. In the next chapter we will learn the message box in VBA. If you want to practice the if statements, download the practice workbook file from video description below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in next chapter.